You know you have a contract to something when you can't get past something. The unworthiness feeling, the jealousy feeling, the fear feeling, the anxiety feeling, a lot of that are contracts. People are like taking medications because they can't get rid of the anxiety. It's in a simple dimension. And you can go, a simple thing, it's an access consciousness thing. Body, who does this anxiety belong to? And then you'll feel the anxiety lift off of your body. And body, are you willing to give this back now? And if it leaves your body, that means it's not yours. You just empath it from somebody else.
Welcome back to the Everything's Energy Show, where we talk about the energy of all things in this existence. I'm your host, Roland, and I have a question for you. Has energy medicine ever found its way into your life? Be honest, it could be a secret thing that you do every so often, or maybe you're someone who thinks it's absolute bogus BS. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people until I was humbled, my mind was blown, and now it's something that I don't only do regularly in my own life for my well-being. I do it with people and clients. And today I'm very excited because my guest is Dr. David Stella. Not only is he a world-renowned energy healer, he's someone who I've actually done some work with before. So I have an amazing background. So I'm really excited to get into this. Dr. Stella, thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. And thank you for having me here. It's always fun to talk about this subject, right?
Well, you have a very unique approach, and I want to get into the details of that. But I think everyone who becomes an energy practitioner probably has the most interesting backstory. I really want to know how this journey started for you.
My parents got divorced early on. I lived with my mom for a while. And then about when I got 14, I moved with my father, who taught me spirituality. My grandfather did. And my mother wasn't really too much into spirituality, but as soon as I started reading books, and the kahunas is what fascinated me, the ancient shamans in Hawaii. They talked about energy within our hands. And at 14 years old, I rubbed my hands together, and then I started, moving them around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then I tried to open up doors with them, and it didn't really work that way, right?
The force is not strong with you right now.
Yeah, it's like I literally for years, I tried to open up a door with but I felt the energy within my hands. And when I got to 17 or 18, I started working on people. And I intuitively, I just did what I thought the intuition where it took me, but I really didn't know what I was doing. Got married, and the person I was with really didn't like me doing energy work, so I put it away for about 24 years. Went to chiropractic college because I was in a car accident, got injured, went to a chiropractor, and I felt better. So I thought, I know I'm going to be back into energy work. And I know I want to think about this and consider this as I continue my career. So what's a career for that? And chiropractic was it, because we put our hands on so many people. We actually put our hands on people, right? Not many doctors will actually put their hands on you if you have back pain, neck pain, whatever. So I went down the chiropractic route, and for about 10 years, I was a musculoskeletal chiropractor. That's all I did. And I saw that it only got people 30 or 40% better when it comes to them feeling better, removing the stress, removing the things that were dense in their body that weren't coming out with an adjustment, right? There's densities within our body that we want to remove to make us feel lighter. So then I got into functional medicine. Functional medicine is the study of the functions of your body. And I started testing meridians. Eastern medicine has been doing this for thousands of years, muscle testing. You have a problem with your thyroid, you put pressure with your testing hand on your thyroid, you muscle test it with a hand or an arm, right?
Yep.
And if you go weak, then you put something that has the same frequency as your thyroid. And these things actually come from the ground, right? God made them. It's like biochemistry. Things that come from the ground go into the frequency of your field, and your body will actually become stronger when that happens. And you can do the same thing with sugar or white bread. You can put it in your field, and your strength will weaken. So for many years, I focused on the functional medicine part, removing the inflammation and the toxicity, and improving their immune system. And that would get them maybe 70 or 80% better. So the physical adjustment was there. Then the physical part of the body with putting food in the body that matched the frequency, removing the inflammation that created densities was there, but there was still something there. And this is where I got to experience the energy side of things and did the shamanic part of it now with Four Winds, Alberto Villoldo. I learned about dimensions, and I learned about the underworld, and I learned about our space and the body, and all these things where all these energies hide, traumas in the body, regret, resentment, how they hold on to the body, right? Anger, in the body. All these emotions create a density. It's a frequency. There's a frequency that creates a density within the body that will eventually cause a dis-ease in the body.
When you say density, I just want to kind of define that for a moment. You're talking about a frequency that's heavier than it should be, something that's an aggregation of compact energy in the body?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, correct. So through the different ways I've learned to clear spiritual dimensions, these are dimensions where our higher selves are in, and that can be attacked by higher things. And to clear those to make our physical body feel better. And the way I did this is from my own self. I was going through all kinds of things where I had to tap into my own intuition, not what I thought was right, wrong, or good or bad with my brain, but what my intuition said. So I had to really listen to my body, which we don't learn in school.
It's a very foreign concept for most people.
What if we learned our intuition early? It would be insane. Body, do you want this, cinnamon roll for breakfast? Do you want this? The things that we feed ourselves, and the body gets a heavy feeling, I don't want that cinnamon roll. Oh, okay. But the brain's addicted to sugar, The brain is addicted to something, but doesn't necessarily mean it's what the body requires, right? Because our brain is addicted to things, but the body doesn't want that sugar. The body doesn't want to have diabetes, right? So anyways, going back to the energy side of things, learning about dimensions, learning about my own personal intuition, and not going in the direction of what my brain thinks is right, but going into what my body says is light, right? Not what I think is right, wrong, or good or bad. It's what my body says is light, my intuition. So for the last, 10 years, it's been going down that road. And I went from primarily a chiropractor, physical adjustments, to mainly energy work. Mm-hmm. And it's all a cash practice. No insurance covers this. No insurance covers you learning how to, basically, we take a physical shower. You learn this. This is like taking an energetic shower. You're learning how to clear your space energetically. And what happens is people just feel lighter after the session. They may not know what's going on. They may not know what just left them, what it looked like, where it was. But afterwards, they feel lighter. And that's what people really want. They want to feel less pressure, less dense. But to get to that place, to get to the place where you feel light, you have to get to the place where you're ready to let go of everything. Let go of resentment, let go of regret, let go of anger, let go of points of views, let go of belief systems, let go of things that just, stubbornness that don't make sense to you. And until you are at that point, you're going to be hanging on to this thing, and you're going to be wondering, what is the quick fix? And there ain't no quick fix. You have to be ready to let go. And in the beginning, and you may have experienced this, you have to look at yourself. And when you look at yourself, you may not like it, or you may be in denial of it, of what it all is. But I started looking at myself, and I required something different than I had. And it was rough in the beginning, but I stayed true to my clearings. I stayed true to my process, and I did it consistently. And that's why I'm able to do it and teach it to people, because I did it, and I still do it. I still discover things on a daily basis. And what I discovered a couple of days ago, we'll talk about it later. But
you said your whole world changed. We got to get into that.
My whole world changed.
Well,
2 days ago.
I'm going to resist asking the question of, well, what was it, Doctor, now? Because I'm very curious, but I do want to dig into something.
Episode 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Or 7 or 10 or whatever. Okay, so I agree with you entirely on a multitude of fronts. Number one, this is not an aspect of practice that you pick. I think it picks you. in a way. You know what I mean by that? Like you have an interest, but things, if it's meant for you, things seem to just align. And even if you're resistant to it, it's like the neighbor's like, hey, I'm next door. Hey, pay attention to me. It comes back. But
or it slaps you.
Yeah.
It's probably nice in the beginning.
Yeah, it's
and then
subtle
you
at the
get slapped.
beginning. It's the difference between a whisper and a shout, right? Over the course of time.
Yeah.
I have one question though, because you said something about your practice being cash only. Obviously, you're busy. You're hard to actually get into seat. So that means people are more open. They're willing to adopt something that is outside the bounds of their beliefs. They're letting go of resistances. From what you've seen in all your years of practice, what do you think causes people to be resistant to the idea of energy work primarily?
Well, first of all, it's education. If we were to educate our kids' intuition, how to tap into it, that they have intuition, but that would be too much empower. That would be too much.
Some people may not like that on this planet.
Right. You'd be empowering, people. The resistance may come from, you know what? I think the younger generation, in the sense of openness to something, I think what we went through the last 5 years has created openness. Maybe there's something different. It's really just openness to ask a question. And maybe we haven't been open enough to ask a question of what else is possible. What else is out there that would create more ease in my body? Because we've grown up with so many belief systems and so many points of views about things and so many stubbornness that have been passed down, generations. This is the generation that I sense that this is all going to be broken.
I agree with you.
I got chills everywhere. We are in this place where we are going to stop the crazy freaking same old.
The resistances.
Because
I'd imagine it's a lot of people in your age demographic who might have the greatest resistance to this stuff because of, the longer you're on this planet, the more time you have to be conditioned. As people age, they usually don't become more open. They usually become more solid in their belief systems and structures. And I find when it comes to working with people, there's a dance you have to do with a certain demographic or a certain age group that allows you to slowly blunt the ego's resistances of putting up walls to things because of whatever convention you're flying in the face of in their reality. I agree with you. The younger generations are almost like, yeah, just go for it.
Yep.
I'm ready. Help me out.
Just do what you do.
Yeah.
No, it's really amazing because I've practiced for 27 years. I've seen, I've literally been doing this for so long and having a business where I have to make a living, not just working out of my home, but having overhead and employees and, having to figure this out somehow. And advertising is not it. The universe is it. The universe is it. The light bulbs go on. That's how it happens. And when you're ready, the light bulb will go on and you'll look at your Facebook thing and then there'll be a thing all of a sudden, and then you'll go to it. It's like the EE system. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I got the energy enhancement system a couple of years ago. And I've been working with functional medicine years before that. Right. So energy work, the functional medicine part, the health part of it. But when the EE system came out, it was like I had 6,000 people come through my office in a couple of years. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen happen in my office.
The EE system being in your office.
In my office.
The catalyst.
And the people, although all those light bulbs were coming on, and the amount of people that were coming in to experience something that before June of 2022, I never heard of. When
the time is right, it's right, huh?
And I heard it from a friend. I got Dr. Sandra. I asked to wash her car for 3 times if she would sell me the system,
What do I have to do to get one?
What do I got to do? Can I wash your
Vegas.
car? What kind of car do you have? I wash your car. But anyway, I've seen people's light bulbs go on more so. And in the last month, I'm telling you, even greater things are going to happen. And I'm not sure what happened. And I'll play with this with you when we get to that, what happened 2 days ago.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a little bit of time in the episode still.
Because what happened 2 days ago wouldn't have happened a month ago.
No, you got to wait to see what that story is. You got to listen to the whole thing.
But also, there's things beyond our control. And I don't get into solar flares and all that because I don't really understand it. But if you were, let's say 20 years ago, you want to project love to the universe. And I want you to just to feel it. Don't even think about where you were. Say 20 years ago, I project love into the universe. And it goes like that far. Now you say, I want to project love into the universe. And it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. Something has happened that has allowed us to have so much more openness to receive probably things out there into our bodies that are beyond my sort of explaining it to you. But if we say, yeah, I want to project love, 20 years ago to something, guess what? It really didn't work all that much. But now it's like, well, so there's something to what happened in the last 20 years that have woken people up.
Yeah, there's been long-held predictions of a time of life where things dramatically change. I mean, there's predictions in every major religion, timelines, the Gnostic traditions. They've spoken about a time of great shift. Human history probably isn't what we're told it is. It's probably not starting in Mesopotamia like the books say that it has.
Right.
Who knows if we're not just another iteration to see how this whole thing is going to play out, because it seems to be that consciousness wants to know itself through as many facets of reality as possible.
Oh, this is what I'm going to be talking about. But go ahead. You're right on it.
So in the way that a human being's life, and I do want to get into how you see us and what we are beyond just the physical embodiment and expression of our lives, but as a human being goes through their life, they evolve their sense of self. Some people have a very much ego-driven development of self, i.e. a symbolic presentation of their external reality reinforces who they believe they are internally, whereas other people will totally dissolve any sort of attachment to this physical world other than the fact that they know that they are consciousness having a human experience. So to your point about what's happened in the last 20 years, maybe it was just easily and simply said, there's been a massive leveling up of the consciousness of not only our planet, of our solar system, of our galaxy, of the being that maybe this is all happening inside. Growth is happening because evolution is the only absolute, and that nothing stands still in life. Everything's impermanent. So,
right.
Why don't we use that to segue into this? Because I think I
Yeah.
got something. Let's segue into this. 2 days ago.
2 days ago. So I do a Zoom call once a month. I have remote members in the EE system. So every month I do a whole.
Can I say I originally scheduled us for you to be here at this time 2 days ago.
I know.
And you couldn't come because you had the Zoom call. So this is an even better outcome. And might I say, I talked to someone today who mentioned the Four Winds shamanic. He just did a course this past weekend, the same. So the synchronicities are always crazy.
Yeah, Alberto Vialdo, real quick, PhD, just very science-based. Very science-based, because there are some shamans that are, from the earth. I mean, really from the earth. But Alberto combines neuroscience with the shamanic teachings. David Perlmutter is a neuroscientist, MD, so he works with Alberto in certain things and how to grow a new body, So that anyone that wants to take that course you get these certain rights or frequencies embedded, you can ask for them and those opened up some awarenesses for me. So it was a really great course. But 2 days ago in the morning, most of my downloads come in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I get up and I'm up and I'm like, what am I going to talk about, tonight? And I have this person I work with. She lives somewhere in Oklahoma, and she gets attacked by all kinds of things. And it's really cool when we're working with someone that sees the same thing or feels the same thing we do, because it gives us, okay, I'm not crazy.
I've had that with you when we've done some sessions.
Exactly.
Again, not the exact overlay, but
well, you have gifts I don't have. So when you can put your input in, it actually helps me understand things. So when people like us work together, it's amazing because your gifts are, sort of robust into going to my gifts, so we can do our things together and it's better. So in the morning, I'm thinking about her and I'm going, well, why doesn't she just decide to clear everything? Why didn't she just decide not to have it? And then I go, okay, so in the decision that we have, how much influence do we have in our decision? Just because you decide something doesn't mean it's you have influence in that decision. So if you were to say, because we're talking about health today, I decide to be healthy. And you know what? You might only come up like 30%, which is, I'm like, wait a second. So who is the other influence on my decision? So is it, I say creator. I say creator when I don't say God or source, but creator, whatever you want to use.
They're all synonyms to you.
Synonyms, yeah. So creator, are you responsible for the other 70%? No. Okay. So what I see is I see a grid.
How do you get that no? Just
I get a heavy feeling.
Heavy feeling. Okay.
Yep. A light is a yes and a heavy is a no.
Okay.
Okay. And I get it like this. And then if I don't get a yes or a no, and then something in the middle, I just keep asking more questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always asking questions. So I go, so what is this that is influencing my other 70% in my decision to be healthy? And I see this grid. And the grid can be in your body, but let's say the grid's here and you're here. Okay? And there's this, not chords, but there's this connection here.
The grid to your body.
The grid to my body.
Physical body?
My physical body. And I go, is this, whatever this is holding me here to this, number one, is this right? Is this good, bad? Is this neutral? Neutral. This is not good or bad. It's just neutral. It's just what it is. This controls 70% of my decision to be healthy. Okay. And this works for everything. Okay, but let's say back to the health thing. So I say, okay, so this thing that's holding me to this thing, can I be removed from this? I get a yes. And you're gonna, as I'm asking these questions, you can tap into this. So can I remove myself from the grid? I go, yes. Okay, cool. Is it in my highest and best to be removed from the grid? And I go, yes. Okay. So I used all the different, I think, chords, contracts, karma. Nothing is holding this together. Then I asked the creator, will you show me how to remove myself from the grid? And he go, yeah. The main thing is don't do anything, right? Be the witness to this experience. Oh, and there's another thing. You have to have your human essence, because our human essence is what gives us the right to be able to decide. So how do you lose your human essence? Well, when people do a deal with the devil, let's say the devil, mm-hmm. They want to be more popular. They want to have more notoriety in ways that may not be in the highest and best, but they want to make more money. You see movie stars and actresses, musicians, you see psychics, you see channelers, you see healers. I want to be a better healer. It happened to me. I want to be a better healer, and I don't want it to be so hard on my body. These 16 things came in. Yeah, we're going to make your life easier. And I felt them come into my body. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. And I work on a few people. And I'm like, okay, so what do we do here? And hey, don't worry about it. We got it. And I'm like, but I want to tell people what to do, because my main thing is to empower them so they can clear themselves afterwards. And they're like, don't worry about it. And I said, am I in my body? Like, I want to be in my body 10 out of 10. Always ask yourself, am I in my body? How much am I in my body? Because if you're not in your body 10 out of 10, something else is in your body. I'm in my body like 30%. And I'm like, okay, so I don't like this feeling of not being in my body, and I don't like this feeling of not knowing what I just did. So I said, oh, wait a second, did I lose my human essence here? Yep, you lost your human essence. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it back, and everyone get the hell out, heck out. And I'll wash cars I don't care. I will not lose my human essence. Mm. So I know how easy it is to lose your human essence, because it happened to me for a very short time, and it happens to a lot of people.
When you say things, are we talking entities? Are we talking some kind of vibrational thing,
beings of some nature?
Yes, transdimensional, not necessarily solid, not based in the third dimension, but are able to interface with.
Yes.
Okay.
And these and what happens in here is, with the deal that's happening, I'm getting something temporarily of a better healer. And in the small print is, yeah, we're going to take your human essence in about 2 years. You're not going to have anything left. This is what happens to people.
What does that outcome look like for those people?
Doesn't
Illness?
look good.
Is it illness? Is it?
It's illness.
But not just physical, mental, emotional. It's a variety of things. No?
All of it.
Okay.
They'll lose their gifts completely. They'll lose their stardom. They'll lose the ability to sing. They will lose what got them there eventually. It happens to a lot of psychics. They just stop. They get their ability to stops. Healers stop, and they're very popular, and then they disappear. You never hear from them again. It's a very interesting awareness, and you, as a healer, you want to be in that awareness. Do I have my human essence? Yes. Okay. Do you have your human essence? Yes. I have had friends that are solid that somehow lost their human essence because they got sick and they wanted to heal themselves, but they wanted to do it really well. They wanted to skip some steps. And then they made a deal unknowingly of what they did. So anyway, you got to have your human essence. You have to have the awareness of where you are on a scale of 1 to 10. Because you have to know that, oh yeah, I decide to be healthy. I decide I am healthy. Now it's like a 10 for me, but 2 days ago it was a 3, right? So then you have to ask your God, creator, whatever to show you how to be removed from this grid. Actually, the grid comes out of you, it feels like. It just kind of comes out of your body.
Is the grid that you're speaking about the catalyst for people to compromise themselves?
No.
It is not.
Neutral.
Okay, neutral.
It's neutral. It's just what's here. Okay, so this thing, it takes about 8 minutes. You will feel your body being removed from this thing, and all of a sudden you'll be like a 10 out of 10. But you're gonna have all kinds of crazy things going on with your body still, because your body is going to realign, readjust itself. And it is the coolest feeling because your body is actually adapting to its new reality of being fully influential in whatever it is that you've asked for. In this case, your health. So you get disconnected or whatever that is, the grid comes out of your body readjusts, and at the end, you're not done. All this stuff, that's the glue or all the stuff that has been holding this grid in, leaves your body. Because you'll get 80% there, and then you'll be like, I got head pressure, I don't know what's going on. Then you got to get this, you got to get the end out. It's all the residue that's been holding everything in place. Once that happens, then you can say, I decide I am healthy. And then all of a sudden your body actually lights up and feels like you're telling the truth now. You're congruent with the statement that you just made. Now, I've done this with, I decide I am sovereign. And it was like, no, you're not. Which means we talk about this sovereign space, the space around me. Okay, and this is my sovereign body, my chakras, my dimensions. There's a law of the universe that says nothing is supposed to be in my sovereign space. It's called free agency without my permission. Well, I get things in my space all the time. I'm like, wait a second, I'm sovereign, right? How come this stuff still keeps coming in? Well, when I say I decide I am sovereign, I had no influence in that decision. So, and that's still work in progress. There's all these things I'm working on, and I worked on too many at one time because yesterday I didn't think I was going to do this show because yesterday
wasn't your day.
I had too much energetic, but then this morning you can say, I decide my life. And I'm like a 10. Nope, I'm like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like a 6, 7, right now 7.6. I don't think we're going to be able to say, I decide my life, and we be fully, I think there is something that's going to hold us to a point. I don't feel like we're going to be completely, but yesterday, when I first started, I decided my life, it was like a 2 or 3. I didn't really decide my life. My abundance with ease, my happiness, you know, my health, my confidence, my sovereign, you know, my ability to remove things instantaneously, and we're not even coming to my space ever, you know, within this reality. So me deciding my life was very low on the influence of things.
When you say I decide my life, who's the I that you're referring to there?
Oh, I don't want to go too much into that because
Okay.
it's just really keeping it very simple. Like me, I decide that when I decide on something, I have influence on that decision. That's really what it is. Because I was going to everything, and it was like a 3 or a 2. Like my influence was very low. So when I say I decide, all the things got a lot easier. So I had to go through every single word that has a frequency, that has a thing connected to this grid, right? It just became more like, oh my goodness, I can really have more freedom, take personal responsibility for my freedom to decide. So, you know, that's when it comes to health, there's all kinds of things that we've talked about, the simulation, you know, all kinds of things that are in the way of us being healthy. But we first want to be able to say, I decide to be healthy. I decide I am healthy. And we want to have influence in that. And then all the things that I had to work on before sort of clears. So it's a way to get right to it. We can do something that, because if your listeners say, you know, I decide my life, and see what you get, it's going to be very low, I can tell you. But so I've been working on this pretty much straight between patients for the last 2 days. We can do one thing, one clearing that's going to be easy, and then that clearing, because it's for something else, is going to get you people listening more freedom in their decision.
So we can do something
Right now.
in this conversation right now that anyone who's listening will gain benefit from by their consciousness being invested in this conversation experience. Why don't we do that?
Okay. So, and I want you just to see where you are. I decide my life, see where you sit, and I want you to feel the difference for you. Okay. So I decide to do my part to create peace for the earth, for the universe, for the galaxy. So I decide to do my part to create peace for this earth, for the universe, and for the galaxy. You may want to say that, but those are the 3 things in the order that they wanted to go into. So the grid is here. All of us are listening, are here. And we ask I say creator, we ask the creator, show us how to remove ourselves from the grid so we can decide to do our part to create peace for this world, for the universe, and for the galaxy. Creator is unraveling our connection to that grid so we can make this decision and we can have influence in this decision based on our human essence and based on our personal responsibility in this decision. Okay, so in that is cleared. Now we want to have the creator show us how to align our body for this new reality where we have full influence of our decision to decide to do our part to create peace for this world, in this universe, in this galaxy. Align our bodies so we are congruent with this influence. And remove everything that was holding us to that grid. Remove that from our bodies. Okay, so something that normally takes like an hour, we just did in, did you feel?
So what's very interesting, experientially, as you were talking about removing from the grid and getting back the divine essence of the human aspect of us, I literally felt the shift in my heart rhythm. Like I felt what I would describe as, just to give people context of something they can hold on to, because I do have some follow-up questions. Yeah. It literally felt like my sympathetic nervous system downregulated. Because the human condition is not meant to be a stressed out, exhausted being. You're supposed to actually be in a predominantly parasympathetic state where your body can express health. Right. So I literally felt, and it's interesting, down my spine, I felt a release of tension. Yeah. And my shoulders had it felt like the field behind me expanded and something let go. That's the experience I had. Did
you feel a sense of almost energy, like your calmness? Yeah, but almost like
more energetic. It's not stimulant.
It's not stimulant. Almost like empowerment. Yeah, like you just took over the power to make a decision. Now, it is still clearing. So now let's just have fun with it. Say, I decide my life. And feel that how high it is now.
Meaning, with the statement, wait for the feeling that comes in to see, is it something that's heavy weighing down, or does it feel like there's levity behind it?
Okay, so take yourself back to yesterday. Okay. I decided my life. Say it out loud.
I decided my life.
I know I decide.
I decide
my life.
My life.
Now, say, I decide my life.
Attuning myself to the present. Yeah. I decide my life.
You almost fly away.
There's a difference. So yeah, it's a very interesting sensation, because what felt like contracting, collapsing down now feels like the opposite inverse action, opening, expanding up.
Wild. Everybody just say, I take myself into yesterday because this is what yesterday, and say, I decide my life. And then now, everybody put yourself in this spot right this moment and say, I decided my life. And you'll feel the difference. I've been doing this for 2 days straight to get me where I was an hour ago, because I came up with this an hour ago.
On the drive over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I have such it could be a very pivotal question if you can put language to this. Because the one thing that I've realized, the more people I speak to who do energy work, their greatest limitation is language and description. Because oftentimes language to accurately describe things either doesn't exist, has yet to be created, or you bump up into the person's subjective filters of what words mean. I want to ask this question well. In your experience, where does all of the goings on of the shifts and all of these activities, where does it take place? Where are you seeing it? Where are you experiencing it, feeling it? Because obviously we're sitting in this podcast studio, but none of this is actually solidly real. It's collapsing, interfering waves of energy. But where this grid change happens, where this person's essence is, where does this all take place?
Well, when you asked the question, I went right to here. It's all within us, right? So and that's when I feel this grid. I do this so people get this thing that it's maybe some
Like a separation
right.
example?
It probably isn't here because I feel the grid coming out of the person. But I want them to see that, if I said the grid, they may not understand it. So I'm making it like two separate things, but it probably is within. There is, and I don't go. I think my brain doesn't go there all that much. As far as trying to, where are these dimensions? Where are these planes of existence? Where are is this underworld? Is it all here? Because I read about that and I really don't know how to relate it to what I'm doing. I relate it to our spiritual home. And in our spiritual home, we have all these rooms. And where the densities are, I just say it's in this room. Like, so you have entities, people that have died, haven't crossed over. That's one room. And if they can conceptualize that room, they can go, oh yeah, it feels heavy in that room. I got something in there. There's a self-talk room. If people are in their head and they are doing this self-talk, there's a dimension that I feel that in, right? It's a self-talk dimension. There's nothing attacking them except for themselves. It's a real dimension that affects their physical body. There's dimensions where this creates separations, like these separation energies, and that's a different dimension. But where are these dimensions? I lay it out like it's rooms of your house, and you just go to the rooms. But where is that house?
It's all on you. Well, this whole experience,
Right.
If we really want to be accurately representing a descriptive way of putting things, the conversation we're having is all happening inside of us. Like the outside is the illusion. And that's a hard thing for people to latch onto. So I resonate with what you're doing there in the description, because the human being is a condensation of consciousness, right? It's all the things distilled down into our five senses that make sense of the world around us. And if you even relate that to the electromagnetic spectrum, like if this is the spectrum, this is how wide it is. Like humans see that much. We hear from 20 to 20,000 hertz. So the amount of energy is information that exists going on around us at any one time. It could be beings and various things. You cleared some stuff in this room before we got going. So just because one can't necessarily experience it and then have someone else validate saying, yes, I had the same experience in the same way, saw, felt, and understood the same things, you have to create something that is a way of transferring that to the person, so said person is able to move through the thing that they came to see you for,
right,
and the assistance that you provide them, because it is all happening inside of their reality.
Right. Yeah, that's. I think that's the simplicity part. I think is, and then giving a piece to how they can clear whatever it is, or because there are contracts. Contracts are things that we sign in a different lifetime. I think I'll just have terrible self-talk in this lifetime. I'll just be hard on myself, or unworthiness. I'll just have unworthiness in this lifetime. In the contracts that we sign, we don't know. We really haven't been given informed consent. Like, if we knew what we were signing up for, we may not have signed up for that thing.
That's why I remember he gets wiped before we come in. Like, I don't want to deal with this at age 17.
Right. So, the unworthiness is in a dimension. Shame is in a dimension. Jealousy is in a dimension. People have contracts to this. And it's, you have a contract to something when you can't get past something.
Like it keeps happening in your life, a recurring experience?
The unworthiness feeling, the jealousy feeling, the fear feeling, the anxiety feeling. A lot of that are contracts. People are like taking medications because they can't get rid of the anxiety. It's in a simple dimension. And you can go, a simple thing, it's an access consciousness thing. Body, who does this anxiety belong to? And then you'll feel the anxiety lift off of your body. And body, are you willing to give this back now? And if it leaves your body, that means it's not yours. You just empath it from somebody else. But if it goes into your stomach, you have a contract to anxiety. So go to someone, get rid of the contract, and then your anxiety gets much better. But we've been medicating people. Lots of people signed up for anxiety. Some people signed up for anger. And these things are in specific dimensions. And Gary Spivey wrote a great book, Your Keys to Heaven. In these keys or these dimensions, we all have these dimensions, and these things are in. And I've been doing these dimensions for people for maybe 15 years now, maybe 12 years now, and everyone's got stuff in these dimensions. That's just one part of a simple thing. I'm going to go to my dimensions. I'm going to clear my higher selves, and my physical body is going to feel good. And oh my gosh, is it that easy? Yes, it's that easy. That's 80% of the things. The other parts are the contracts, things that we want to resolve those contracts. And you have to know that your body just doesn't know how to get rid of these contracts. Your body doesn't know how to get rid of anger. It doesn't know how to get rid of regret and resentment. You have to have the awareness that you have regret. Do I have regret? No, okay, all right. Body, do you know how to remove this regret? No, it's never. Do you want to learn? Yes. Some people are like, I don't want to learn. I got things to do over here. But they still want the regret removed if they want to feel better. Creator, will you come in and educate my body how to remove this from my body? And the Creator's like, yeah, I'll do that. Just thanks for asking. You have to know that our bodies just don't know how.
Is it as simple as people create these things for themselves to learn more about experience, existence, who they are not? Like, why would someone willfully say this lifetime, you know what? Riddle me with neuroses, regret,
Cancer,
and frustration, and let that become something that develops into a serious psycho-emotional or physiologic somatic disease? Like, what is the purpose of that in your opinion?
I don't have an opinion. I'm not getting an answer.
Fair. Well played.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an interesting thought though, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Because the way you put it, and I agree to this part. If you don't have anything in the way to stop you from removing something, then there's no reason it has to stay. We give it license, we give it symbol, whatever you want to use as a descriptive term. It is us who creates these things as experiences for ourselves. And I've often wrestled with this. If it's so easy to just let it go, why do you want to hold it? And I think it comes back to belief. People don't believe that something simple as, if I ask the Creator to help me remove something from myself, it can simply go away. There's this egocentric restriction of belief.
Or they just don't know. They don't know that the body can't. They never have asked their body, do you know how? And the body's like, I don't know how. Like
someone has to have a good internal dialogue with themselves to be able. So maybe there's a question for you. How do people start to foster that internal relationship?
Okay, so we teach people light and heavy. Okay, it's an access consciousness. We've taken it, in our own way. I talk to my body like I'm talking to a 6-year-old child. Okay, and I tap onto my thymus, which is where the intuition is. This gets you in your body. So if you feel like you have 10 things to do and you're running around, you just tap onto this part of your chest, your sternum, and then you'll get into your body. So you say, hi, body. You're talking to a 6-year-old child. Hi, body. And your body's like, oh, my God, you're talking to me. Okay, cool. Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you a question. And if the answer is a yes, then give me a light feeling. And if the answer is a no, then give me a heavy feeling. Okay, and then you stick your hand outside your biofield, because your field, your light field, which is where all the information is for your body, how your cells communicate with each other, runs out about 6 to 12 inches from your body. So you stick your hand outside your biofield, and you go, okay, so here we go, body. Is my name, and when you ask a question, you keep your eyes open and your mind is blank. You can say, brain, I want you to go off to the side. This is nothing about you. I'm tapping into my intuition, which is connected to the entanglement of everything. So brain, whatever you think is right, wrong, good, or bad, whatever you think is belief systems and points of views and judgments, I want you to go over here for a minute. So body, is my name David in this lifetime? And I've been doing this, like, yeah, your name is David. Okay, thank you, body. Body, is my name Sally in this lifetime? I got a heavy feeling. I asked the question the same way, same curiosity, same blank mind. I'm just asking my body with the faith that my body is going to answer me.
It's like a psychic muscle testing feedback. You are your own feedback mechanism in this case.
Yep. And then body, do I currently live in Las Vegas? Yes. Okay. Do I currently live in Alaska? No. You do light and heavy questions. Okay. So the light and heavy questions, easy ones, your name, where you live, am I a male in this lifetime, that kind of stuff. Then you can do it with food. All right, body, we're going to play another game. We're going to do food, because food is a frequency and your body is a frequency. So when you put the frequency of something in your body, if your body likes it, requires it, it's like muscle, it will expand. And if you put something in your field that your body doesn't like, it will contract. They've been doing this for thousands of years. My grandmother used to go to prisons back in the day. All right. She would go to the prisons and she would find the biggest man, and she would have him hold out his arm, put a banana in there, it was strong, put some white bread in there, and it would go weak. And she was 100 pounds. Okay.
Strong as an ox, though.
and then she would even go further. She says, you are worthy. You're forgiven. All the things like that. And then he'd be strong. And then she would say, you're worthless. No one likes you. You're a failure. And his arm, the biggest man in the room. That's where our words matter. That's why self-talk matters, because it determines our frequency of how we're projecting on our body, which is the majority of water. You can project love into water, and the crystalline structure looks like a flower. You can project hate and anger into water, and it turns into mud.
It's an ugly shape if you look at it under a microscope.
Right.
Yeah. So
personal responsibility, change your thinking. Right?
Imagine that. So complicated.
So going back to food, body, do you want? So I've had people come in. I had a 75-year-old guy come in. He was retired, sold his business, bought $1 million RV, bought a place in Mexico, but he's on oxygen and he can't get to Mexico. And he says, I hear what you do. I don't understand it, but I've tried everything else. I said, okay, so let's talk. Let's kind of connect to your body, what it wants, what it doesn't want, or what it requires. I said, so what do you eat? And he says, I eat good. Don't talk about what I eat, because I eat good. My whole life I've been.
There's no ambiguity with that statement, having dealt with clients for like 15 years myself. I eat well. Okay.
That's just for the funs of it. Yeah. What do you eat? I eat fruit. I do fruit drinks all the time. I said, okay, so I'm going to put fruit in your system. And it was super heavy. But he learned an apple a day keeps the doctor away in his belief system, right?
It's conditioning.
He's been eating fruit his whole entire life. He doesn't smoke, but he's on oxygen, okay? I said, your body doesn't like fruit. Stop eating fruit. And I said, let's just test vegetables. Body, do you want this asparagus? You want this broccoli? You want this avocado? I said, your body loves vegetables. You eat vegetables? No. He's 75. 3 months later, I never hear from him again. He's done. He's cured. He is on his way. He's eating food that his body requires. Everyone's different. Some people live off of salt water and sugar. You can't. I don't know where they come from.
I have a friend whose grandmother's 96. She smoked for 40 years, maybe 50 years. She eats nothing but sugar and she drinks every day. And she's getting angry. She thinks God's forgotten about her. But the average health person, the longevity experts who die in their 70s, she flies in the face of everything, conventionally speaking. But there must be some alignment with her body and its ability to sustain life, having those behaviors be normal for her.
Beyond your typical person, that if they're not tapping into her body and what it requires, they're not going to know. That's the thing about really going to someone that is tapping into your body and then teaching you how to tap into your body. Because garlic for me is poison, but for garlic for other people, it helps them with their cold. Consumer Reports says 97.5% of all supplements are dead. So you go to Whole Foods, you go to Trader Joe's, you go to all the cool places, and you hear in a magazine that most of us are magnesium deficient, zinc deficient. Experts are telling this. You're not getting into the ground. Go get some magnesium and zinc. And you go and you got like magnesiums. You may go to Walmart, you know, you get the big tub of magnesium. I got magnesium. What doesn't mean it's the truth. It doesn't mean that it came from a place that, you know, it wasn't contaminated. It doesn't mean that the way they process it just killed the whole thing. And it doesn't mean that it could be the best magnesium on the planet, but it doesn't meet your body's frequency. Mm-hmm. So I have people bring in tubs of vitamins and minerals, you know, and they test themselves so they become the expert of their body. Wouldn't that be great to be the expert of your body? And you can do this how you talk to God, how you talk to, you know, your intuition is the same light and heavy. Now I drive down the road and I want to make it fun. I put my hand out. Okay, so yeses are like energy coming off my hand is a yes, and a no is a compression. Or I want my sinuses to open. You can do whatever you want, as long as there is some understanding of how you want to receive your information. You just got to ask, or you got to set this understanding up. I want this light feeling, or I want this tingling feeling, whatever it is. We all have access. We just didn't know we had it. When it comes to people's health, if they don't fix their stomach, they're not going to be able to digest minerals. And without minerals, they're not going to be able to digest vitamins. So most practitioners forget that we need hydrochloric acid in our stomach. And that hydrochloric acid is like celery juice, right? That's hydrochloric acid, not lactic acid. What happens is when people don't have enough acid in their stomach, they form lactic acid, and then they take antacids. And that is, they're so far down the road of unhealth that they're going to have a hard time ever getting healthy because their body's not going to absorb minerals, it's not going to absorb vitamins. So when it comes to the basics of health, yes, figure out what your body requires. It may be completely different, you know, and then fix your stomach. Most of our stomachs are jacked up. I'm going to tell you. Mm-hmm. Everyone assume that your stomach doesn't work, because hydrochloric acid gets decreased in age through stress and through our standard American diet. So if you are stressed and you have cortisol running through your body, your stomach is hurting. And if you have been eating a standard American diet, a SAD diet, then your stomach has been hurting. So if you're past 25, start taking HCl capsules, celery juice, and at least you have a foundation then of absorbing minerals and vitamins.
Yeah, there's a company that I've been working with for the last 5-6 years, and all they do is digestive wellness stuff, but they get the products manufactured in a building that's actually been properly gridded. The land has been gridded. Yeah. They use a mineral complex that has a specific geometric shape that acts as a catalyst to activate the product where you taste. So these products are incredible. And it's funny because you talk about digestive wellness. I tell everyone, if you fix your gut, it's the one thing in the body that will make everything better, but not being targeted to what it is you're ailing from.
Right.
If you have inflammation, your digestive system's improvement in health status will downregulate your inflammation. If you have brain fog, if you have low energy, it's because it's really the interface between the outside and the inside of our body. After, like, the gut's technically outside of physiology. It's the last line of, I guess, it's the last barrier, the defense system, if you will.
When your body is being formed, there's this place called the neural crest. And, you know, when it's being formed, the neural crest is innervating the brain and is innervating the gut at the same time. It comes from the same origin of when you're being built, you know. So in my opinion, the gut is the first brain and the brain is the second brain. Because if your gut is so unhealthy and you put bread in your body, and then you're going to get a headache. And, you know, we can put bad gas in a car and go, yep, I put bad gas in there and it doesn't run. But we can put bad food in our bodies for years, and all of a sudden we got diabetes or high blood pressure, and we don't connect the two. Like, how did I get diabetes? There's a 1% chance that it's familial. We were saying it's an 80% chance because it's genetic. It's not genetic. You earned diabetes. You didn't exercise, and
it's a condition of lifestyle.
You didn't eat well. So when it goes back to just starting from scratch, I want to have this journal. I want to be blank. I want to learn about my body. I want to learn what it requires and what it doesn't require. It doesn't have to be perfect because you know, but at least you're starting to understand that you have this. You're just energy, right? We know that, scientists tell us, and what you put into your body is energy. Why not discover if this energy matches your energy? I was listening to someone, and they're a carnivore, and she was on national TV talking about just eating meat. Forget anything else, because she had a chronic condition. Well, when I tapped into her body, it was the truth for her.
Mm-hmm.
But so just because you read a book, it may have been the truth for them, but it doesn't mean it's the truth for you. So if you're looking to find your truth, then you really have to go back and discover your body and know that it is energy, that you can discover this light field by just talking to it. Hi, body. Is my name David? And you'll feel it. Do I live in Alaska? No. It's just like it's like a dance move. Just start doing it. Start talking to it. Be humble. Be courageous. You're talking to the 6-year-old child that you've never met before. Essentially, it's like trying to get a cat down from a tree, and you're scratching, and the cat's scratching you. This sometimes we haven't talked to the body our whole life. We have to gently get the cat down so we can start talking this child down, so we can start talking to it. And it does take time. Sometimes it takes weeks for the body to feel safe enough. Because if you go, okay, so body, I just spent $80 for this magnesium. I hope you like it. That's not gonna get you anywhere. Because you're gonna have to go, body, what about these minerals? They got a heavy feeling? Trash can. You can't have an opinion about it. You have to be
the
okay.
brain can't get involved, is what you're saying. You can't run it through the thought generator and filter. It's got to be a feeling.
It's got to be a feeling. Okay. My buddy just gave these to me. It works for him. Body, what about this? And your brain has already said your friend got it and it works for that person. But just because it works for that person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You have to be blank. It's almost like seeing yourself in a boat on a mountain lake and the lake is flat. You have to get that frequency in your body so your body is neutral. And you got to make sure your nose is facing forward in your body, because if you start to get nervous about a question, you just flip backwards.
What does that mean? So flip backwards?
Well, that means your yeses or nos.
Okay. So you're saying within your ability to ask yourself and get feedback.
Yep. You want to be calm. You just kind of want to play with yourself and just, kind of take yourself out of your body, flip it around, make sure your nose is facing forward, because it will happen. You'll get tricked. You'll be nervous about this question, and then all of a sudden your body flips backwards, and then you say, is my name David? No. Happens a lot. It happens to me still. So we have to know that we can be tricked at times. So you have to start over again.
So you're saying empty yourself.
Empty yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about getting in touch with yourself, trusting in your intuition, connecting with some aspect of bi-directional communication with Creator, taking care of your digestive wellness, dropping your resistances, beliefs, or anything that is primary that may be a block to you in terms of being able to tap into this intuition that we're describing. Do you have any final pieces of advice, or maybe something that you want to share that will round out someone who's right in the cusp of this stuff? Maybe they want to see a health professional such as yourself, or someone like an energy worker, or they want to get into this themselves as a new career, a new profession. What's some final words of advice, or some parting thoughts and gifts that you'd want to share with people?
So the whole idea for me is for my body to feel light, for my body, my brain, my essence to feel empty in the sense of no densities in there. And that's with food, that's with thoughts, that's with traumas, that's with old feelings that are embedded in us. These all come out. So if you're wanting to feel a little bit better, a little bit lighter, a little bit freer, and we do have this blissful heaven on earth feeling that is our right to feel. And if you're not feeling that, this is a great way to get there, to get to that bliss, to get to that light feeling, to get to that heaven on earth feeling, and to get all that stuff out of your body that doesn't really serve your body. So that's really it. Do you want to feel a little bit better than you're already feeling? And if you do, then this is a great way of going.
It's a good start. I mean, I'm so appreciative and impressed with taking something specifically. It's such an abstract concept of what we're normally taught in human life, and then finding different ways of explaining this, taking us through different exercises. I really think that this is going to pique a lot of people's curiosity, and I really do think everyone should see an energy practitioner, a good energy practitioner. I'm sure there are people who have different practices that may not resonate, but it's important to find something that resonates with you. So Dr. Stella, I want to thank you for your time, for your wisdom, for basically the free session that you gave everyone. And you are based in Las Vegas if anyone is interested, and you do a lot of distance work as well.
Yeah, my business is Las Vegas Holistic Center. So the website, LasVegasHolisticCenter.com, or on Instagram. A lot of my work is remote, and when I work with you, it's really a pleasure to work with you because of your gifts as well.
Thank you.
And people's gifts are really coming up.
Well, some people were a little early to the party, like early adopters. You probably entered this world. There's that also, one of these things is not like the other. You were feeling that probably most of your life, being kind of on the edge of this.
Yes.
And so thank you for being a catalyst to helping awaken people. I mean, that's what the energy enhancement system does. You have a multi-unit EE system within your business, and it's a wonderful piece of technology to physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually level people up. So the combination of those two things that you're doing is incredible work, and hope that you can keep it up for many years into the future.
You as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Everything's Energy Show. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a pleasure speaking to Dr. David. Pleasure being with you guys. We'll see you soon.